Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before anyone says anything, no, that's not a halo above my head there. That is the light. I'm trying to film this on my laptop, so this is the first time I'm trying this out. I just wanted to, I wouldn't say clarify a few things, I just wanted to share a few things, which are my personal beliefs about the world, about my religious / spiritual beliefs. With regard to this Mandela effect thing that's happened or happening, I think there's a lot of confusion surrounding it, a lot of animosity towards different parties, maybe different belief systems. So I just want to kind of clarify what my beliefs are, really. So I just got a bit of dust there on the lens. So with regard to my beliefs, I'm not a Christian. I do actually have, funnily enough, a cross tattooed on me, which just had that done when I was younger. And I guess, I've got other tattoos on me of symbology and words that mean something to me. And yeah, I guess for me it is a funny one because my mum is a Christian. To be blunt, my full beliefs are I'm not 100% sure whether Jesus and God are what the Bible says they are, or whether it is more of a metaphorical sense. That's my position on there. But again, I've probably said it in previous videos that I'm atheist. Maybe I'm using the wrong terminology there. I believe there's something out there. I'm very open to suggestions. I just go by what feels right rather than what just sounds right to me. I believe that we choose our parents. So for example, I believe I chose my mum to be my parent. My dad left when I was younger, so I never met him, but I would have chosen him as well. These are just my beliefs. They might sound silly to some people. Again, I believe that there are life lessons all around us. I believe that life is just one big lesson. I believe that many people, including myself, will repeat the same lessons over and over, maybe with a guise of a different person or a slightly different situation. And I believe until you've figured out what that lesson is, you can't move forward into life. I guess if you think of it in video game terms, level up to like the next stage or leveling up a character or something like that. That's how I see life. I believe that we are all made up of infinite energy and infinite awareness. I do believe. So with that, that's something that I didn't know many people believed in until this Mandela effect, and then I see that many people have the same sort of belief systems, which has been a great relief for me, I guess, in that sense that many other people think the same way, evidently. I believe that we are definitely controlled as a species from birth. The fact that we're taxable citizens, the fact that we have to pay things like rent, the fact that we are monitored constantly, the fact that we can pay for land, which is something that is, let's say, a God-given right, for lack of a better term. I think that there's many... Illuminati, I believe that that's real. I think that that is something that has been blown out of proportion with regard to everyone jumping aboard it and just saying, oh, look, a triangle, a Dorito, oh, Illuminati. I think it's become a bit of a joke now, kind of in the same way how you have these mock ceremonies and sacrifices at CERN, for example. I believe that those things, so I've researched this sort of stuff for many years, I believe that those sort of things are real. However, a situation like that one, for example, I feel could potentially discredit it or let everyone jump on board and say, oh, look, they've got Nike shoes on, oh, they're doing a ceremony. So I can understand how that will influence people's thought process. I believe that, so I've seen ghosts before, I've probably said this in about 6 videos now. My views on ghosts have maybe changed. So this is the reason, I guess, because I've seen ghosts and have had weird, I guess, paranormal things happen to me, that I believe that there is an afterlife of sorts. Again, I'm not sure if it's a heaven, pearly gates, clouds, whatever you imagine it to be. This is why I can't discount something like a religion, so to speak. Can't discount it purely for that reason. I think that a lot of religion is used to control people, and I think people figured this out long ago. So going back to us being taxed and whatnot, again, it's a control system. Money is a control system. I do believe that many events are unfolding. Again, when you look at things like the Bible, I think it does predict a lot of events. I think that the Quran also kind of somewhat predicts a lot of events. Was this from a divine power? Or was it someone that could just see how things were going to go? Again, I don't have the answers on that because it's all faith-based. I feel that my world has changed drastically with this Mandela effect. I feel like I'm now viewing things in a different way. Going back to ghosts, I used to think of them as spirits. Now could potentially be energies that are kind of getting crossed over in a frequency of sorts. I do believe that we are capable of a whole lot more than we are taught. Mentally, physically, I do believe that we are only taught certain things. We're taught enough to not think too much, but we're taught enough to think, okay, yeah, I need to get a job of X, Y, and Z pay. The basics, I think that there's a lot hidden from us. I think a lot of history is hidden from us. I think that a lot of what we are taught is a curricula that is tailor-made, in a sense, for programming purposes. I feel like the last few years I've had to unlearn a lot of what I had previously learned. I left school early. I left school in year 8 or year 9, so quite early into secondary school. Whether that's aided me in a different way of thinking, I think it personally has. Maybe hasn't always aided me in getting a job, so to speak, because on paper it doesn't look great when you look at things like that. Even if I can literally prove myself, which tends to be the case in many jobs, I'll go in as kind of the underdog and then do what I have to do, I guess, to show that I'm worthy of a position there. What else is there to tell? Yeah, I'm a bit stumped for words now. They're all the main things that I can think of there with regard to life. I believe that predictive programming happens. That's something else. I believe that the powers that be know exactly how to manipulate us as a society. I believe that segregation is constant, whether it's race, whether it's you're a boy, I'm a girl, or you're a transsexual, you're a this, you're a that. There's always a divide there. Again, a divide and conquer strategy. Um, an interesting book to read. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I think the guy's name was like Shang Tzu. It's called The Art of War. I may be getting his name wrong. I read it quite a while ago, but I think I'm going to have to brush up on that again. Very interesting book with regard to philosophies behind war. I believe that there are many cures out there for every ailment, including cancer, and I believe that this world, I guess, is so perfectly designed that for any ailment, disease, syndrome, anything like that, I do believe that there are natural cures for it all. I do believe that these are suppressed. Massive topic when you look into big pharma and you look at the business side of it. Crazy topic there. Another topic which I briefly talked about before, which I've never actually done, so I've never even smoked a cigarette, barely drunk. Well, I say barely drunk, I barely drink at all, as in alcohol. So I'm not some sort of crackhead or anything like that people may think with me talking about these kind of subjects, I guess. DMT, that's a weird subject that I've been looking into. I know people have said not to try it because it opens you up to demons and whatnot. Could well be the case. I don't know that. Yeah, I just think if anyone wants to know anything else about what's kind of gotten me to this position. Oh, so this all started off how I'm even looking into this Mandela effect, I guess. So 9/11, that to me was ground zero, I guess, as to why I started looking into why things weren't right. I remember I was off sick on that day from school. I was watching TV and I thought, oh, this is a bit rude. The news is interrupting whatever program it was. I was watching some cartoon or something. And yeah, I saw this alleged plane fly into the building. Then I saw another one and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if it was real, but for some reason for me it just felt very odd, especially the way the buildings collapsed, because I'd watched many documentaries on controlled explosions as well in and around that time, and I just thought it looked very similar to that. So yeah, I guess more in my adult life I would be looking into that, finding many things. And then I guess that leads me on to other things. So when you look at MK Ultra, like the Monarch mind control, things like that. So I always wanted to be in the music industry. I came very close a couple of times at big auditions. I'm very glad it didn't happen now. At the times, I was devastated. For me, it was like the world closing in on me, I guess. However, in hindsight, I realised that I wasn't meant to be in that industry, because I now see it for what it actually is. When I look at music videos, when I look at things that happen that are just not right there's so much I've researched into that as well. When you look at paedophilia in Hollywood, again, Monarch mind control, cloning, that's another thing that I think there's something to that cloning. I've looked into that quite a bit. I mean, if we can clone little Molly the sheep, we can clone dogs. Why can't we clone humans? Apparently the technology has been there since the 40s. There's a film called Boys from Brazil. It shows you exactly how to do it in that film. Again, going back to predictive programming. I think nothing is the same nowadays. So when you think of, like, I used to like Disney films when I was a little kid. The Lion King, Aladdin, I'd be sitting there watching those things. Now I look at them, and it's almost like after everything you've researched, again, your brain thinks a different way, you see things a different way. So in Aladdin, you see things like, or you hear things like the genie saying, Jasmine, take off your clothes. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I'd strongly recommend to watch that. You'll have your eyes blown out for that. And The Lion King, you see the word sex in there. There's countless examples with Disney as to the word sex and just other profanity in there. And you think these are what you're showing to children. You think of the fast food industries. I've researched into how McDonald's will target their younger audiences. It disgusts me. There's so much wrong with this world. There's so much right with it as well, but there's so many people that don't really see what's going on in the world. They'll still happily eat at McDonald's. They'll still happily watch a Disney film. Yeah, I think there's symbols all around us. I think that things are going to change. I can just feel it. Again, this sounds probably really weird, but I can truly feel that a change is coming on a grand scale. I don't know what, I don't know when, but I've thought this and felt this for probably the past year and a half. Something inevitable is leading up. I do believe that the beast system, again, so when you look at biblical prophecies and things like that, about not being able to trade without a chip in your right hand and your forehead or something like that, it says. I've seen the RFID chips. I've researched that quite thoroughly. It's all on its way. Again, it sounds like rubbish. It sounds like I'm making it up. But in London, for example, in a park now, I saw a poster a few months ago that said it's now mandatory by law to have your pets chipped. So again, something like that, it just trickles into the system until it becomes normal, I guess. I've done a whole video on that before. If anyone wants to watch it, comment and I'll link that over. Yeah, that's all I can think of at the top of my head now, guys. Hopefully I haven't rambled on too much. I just wanted to give you a bit more of a background about me as to why I'm doing this, as to why I view things the way I do, touching on belief systems. Yeah, it's quite a personal video. I wasn't sure if I was going to make this, but then I said that when I first started putting out the YouTube videos, I wasn't sure if I was going to say what I said or was going to put them out, and I did anyway. So, yeah, that's all from me, guys. So thanks a lot for your time, and cheers. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye.